So we get this riverboat gig, and it was basically to an elderly demographic. I think the youngest people on the boat were like 70.
Okay.
Yeah.
All gray hair kind of thing.
Yeah, it was the blue. We were playing for the Blue Hair Group.
Yeah. Blue hair group, yes.
So, it was a completely random gig offer. Friend of ours. So we get the gig, and the gig consisted of us going in as a duo. And you know, my music is pretty bass and drum oriented. It's funk and soul, so it's like you gotta have that backbeat.
Right.
But you know, I do jazzier kind of stuff, and Aaron was playing piano, and I was just doing guitar, and we were both singing. And we were out of it was definitely a gig where we were not in our element. And the elderly people, they wanted songs that they knew.
They requested
Right?
a
Like
lot.
we did a couple of cover tunes, but I told them straight up, I'm like, look, I do like original soul and jazz, and like we can tone it down for the blue hairs, and we'll not rock them out of the room. Well, here's the irony. They wanted to be rocked out of the room.
Ah. Okay.
So we came in with this attitude of like, okay, we're going to come in chill because we think that that's what they want. Well, that's not what they wanted.
Funny.
Now, why did we do that gig? Because it was $1,000 guarantee for playing 1 hour.
That sounds good.
It was $1,000 for 1 hour, bro.
Whoa. That is super good.
That's right.
Mhm.
But you know what? Here's the irony. With this game, man, money doesn't make everything. Now, the money came in handy, I'm not going to lie, but the experience honestly wasn't really worth it because it was a bit demoralizing. And and you're like going, man, every gig we go and play, it's like 99% success, and then you have that 1% where it's like, man, we really didn't we really tried to put ourselves into the wrong spot, man.
Right.
And we thought we could pull it off, and we pulled it off, but did they really enjoy it? Are they going to remember us? There were a few people that were younger that were there, and they loved it. But no, the blue hairs in the group they didn't give a damn about our original music. They didn't give a damn about it.
Good thing this was a month-long cruise or something.
Yeah.
Your hair continued.
Yeah, so yeah, man, it's such an ironic business that you really want to keep putting yourself in front of the right audience, because and do your homework. The only way that you can really do that is by test marketing yourself, and the one thing I'll say about the Oregon coast is that there's a lot of openness. People are open
To the different genre, you mean? That's good.
Yeah, that's what I find is like really cool about this area is you can find anything from jam band to funk to metal to bluegrass to folk to fucking everything in between.
Yeah.
And it all seems to kind of work. It all seems to all these bands seem to find a home somewhere somehow.
Nice.
Even like we got a jazz singer here in town, Chelsea LaFay, and she does really well for the blue hairs. That's actually her demographic. I would say. I mean,
Standard jazz.
Swing jazz. Yeah, man. Like 1940s, 1950s kind of stuff, and probably even earlier. They probably do some 30s stuff. I don't know, but So she's somebody who definitely understands, like, okay, this is my demographic.
Right.
And she shines. She shines there.
So where's your home around here, then? Your bands?
Basically, dude, Astoria used to be my hub. It's just not really anymore. I kind of got to a point where there's still a few places in town that I do play. Oh shoot!
Roadhouse. You were playing at Roadhouse.
Yeah, I played the Roadhouse,
That's not Australia,
and the Labor Temple. I'm going to play the Brew Cup here in a couple weeks. But I tend to end up doing like the outdoor events for Astoria these days, which I like a lot better.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, especially like, you know, when you're when you're playing around your hometown, you just don't want to oversaturate. You really kind of, you know, it's like, okay, cool, you know, play once or twice, you know, throughout the year, maybe 3 times, I don't know. But you really kind of want to like separate yourself in your hometown, go play other places, you know. And it's really cool because when you go play other places, they love you so much. I mean, like the appreciation level is so much greater. I mean, you're a stranger, and so
you traveled long and hard.
Well, they like the fact that you're willing to travel for them. They're like, oh wow, like these guys came like 7 hours away just for this little place. It's like yeah, because it's like a sign of like hard work and loyalty and commitment and professionalism, and like we're not afraid, you know, like we understand, man, this is part of the fucking job description, man. But so many people don't, they're not willing to travel. They want to build their little fan base around their hometown because they're lazy. They're just lazy. They think people should just come to them. No. You go to the people, man. You got to go to the people, baby.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got to take it to the streets.
So, what's your farthest I've ever played?
We drove to New Mexico like 5 years ago. That was cool. That was a fun trip.
You drove?
Yeah, we drove. We took a motorhome.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Another like a location along the way, or just a one shot?
That one specifically was really just like one shot because, for one, the guys that I was playing with at the time, we were all extremely. We all needed something to get us out of town. I don't know what it was. There was some weird alignment thing with the stars that everybody was going through some kind of shit that it was like, we just need to get out of town. We just need to get out of town. We need to get away from, like, you know, and I was gonna piss some people off, but we got to kind of get out of town and get away from the women for a minute.
I see.
Because, you know, there's a lot of this going on. And you know, the one thing about being in a band is it can, depending on how cool the girlfriends and wives are, man, you know, sometimes it's like it's exactly what the other guys need to get the fuck away, to hold on to some of their sanity.
Right. So I guess that farness is not just purely musical motivated, but
yeah, there a lot of that trip was like, this is going to be a fun vacation.
I see.
And then the cool thing is that there's a gig at the end of it, and that's going to be our turnaround point.
Right.
So it was very like, oh, we got this cool destination and this cool adventure, this journey, and at the same time, it's like, I mean, it really was a. It was a trip to go and branch out to you know, try to start establishing ourselves and in other places. Right. And the cool thing about that trip was the place that we ended up playing. One of the guys that was working there had a Blind Pilot shirt on, and I'm like, oh dude, you like Blind Pilot? Oh yeah, man, I love Blind Pilot. Oh yeah, they played here. And I was like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, I'm from Astoria. You know, I know those guys. Right. You know.
Wow, another guy's.
Yeah, so it was really cool. Like, like the dude's wearing a Blind Pilot shirt. Right. Like, you know. Right. Like that was pretty far out, man.
I know it is far out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, you know, just expanding. It's about expansion, because, like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to get over to New Mexico very often.
Right.
But, you know, where's that threshold of like, how far can I push this?
Yeah.
You know, that was probably a little too far.
I guess
But-
West Coast though is so spread out compared to East Coast where there are a lot of different towns. And
Yeah.
Going
My approach to it now when it comes to touring is like I'm gonna really just focus on Oregon because there's so much, there's so there's so many places to keep you busy right here in this state, you know, and the further you drive, you know, the further you have to drive back, and so that's all. That gas money is a killer. Gas money
the
and
biggest expense I
the
imagine.
motels, man.
Yeah.
Motels are, it's just, they're a killer, you know. It makes it very, I mean, almost virtually impossible to tour, you know, especially because, you know, we're getting $400, $300 and $400 guarantees from places. And then, you know, just to get a gig, because you're on the road, you might be willing to pick up some smaller gigs where you're getting the door.
Right.
You know, so all right, band made $100 tonight because nobody knows who we are in this town. You know.
Yeah. But I guess they
But that's-
want us, you back. I
That
guess,
yeah,
right?
see,
Yeah.
that just happened to us in Prineville. We play Prineville. Never played there before. I don't even know if I've even been to that town before. And
East of Bend, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like just north. I think just north of Bend
Okay.
a little bit. But anyways, we go over there and. You know, it was a $300 guarantee, and I load all the band members up into one vehicle, right, to make it cost efficient.
Right.
It was it's like a 4.5 hour drive from here. You know, luckily some of our band members, they don't, you know, they're a little bit closer, but it was literally like, I'm gonna conserve money. We're gonna drive back so we don't have to get a motel room.
Right.
And I mean, we pulled in about 2 o'clock in the morning, and that's what it took to make that little gig happen. And
That's a
why did we do that? Why would we do something so difficult for such little payoff? Because that's what you do. That's how you expand. You go out and you plant seeds, and you got to start from the ground up every time you play somewhere new. You're planting that seed in the soil, man. It's from ground zero, and it is a risk. It's a fucking risk. But if you're going to be an entrepreneur of any kind and you're not going to take risks, you're not an entrepreneur. So those two things are synonymous, man. You can't be an entrepreneur and not take
No
risks.
risk. Yeah.
Oh man, you know. And it's okay. So some people really need to be in like a structured work environment. You know, they actually need the cubicle. You know, I mean, there are people like that. That you know, it's like
Right.
they're in their safe place, man. It's safe. You know,
That makes
the world is scary and
Yeah.
chaotic, and it's scary, but call to adventure, man.
Right. I guess that makes the world go around. Some people like certain roles, some people like certain roles, I guess.
And how are you going to build anything if, I mean, that's the thing. It's like I don't know where the entitlement or like the idea, like, well, I'm in a band, the band should just be like successful. Like, we just started it. No, we should just be successful everywhere we go. People should just like be flocking to us. It's like, dude, that's not the way it works, man. It's literally like Spinal Tap. You're rolling up to the place and it's it's puppet show and Spinal Tap. You know, it's like,
Right.
damn it, I told him 100 times, Spinal Tap and then puppet show. You know, it's like you're getting
Funny. Okay,
You know?
watch the movie again.
yeah, it's like damn it, man.
Uh-huh.
Puppet show got top billing. Like